Hello, you guys. Welcome back. Today I'm going to do an August garden tour. I know I haven't done them throughout the rest of the summer, but I really want to show you what the garden looks like. It is a big step up from last year, in my opinion, and things are looking really, really good. Obviously, we have some goods, we have some bads, but overall, everything's looking incredible. So, very excited to show you guys. So, let's go ahead and get started. So first I want to start off with this pergola area, and I think this is the best the pots have ever looked, these big ones. I guess last year was the first year, but they struggled most of the season last year, and I really doubled down on Vinca this year because I knew it performed super well last year for me and I didn't have to do anything to it. So you will see Vinca everywhere in the garden instead of petunias. Even though I love petunias, Vinca just performs in our heat so much better, and I'm in love with these pots this year. I literally planted these in May or maybe April and never have touched them. They took a while to get going because Vinca and Mandevilla. So we have Vinca, Mandevilla, and that Dusty Miller I even planted last fall. It's still doing good. These plants love the heat. So as you can see now, that's starting to put off these little like runner vines as well, and it's just looked like this all season long. Haven't had to like trim it or anything, which is also super nice. And then these ones up here, this whole basket here I grew from seed. So we have this one, which you'll also see in the landscape, and then you have this lighter pink color as well. Those are looking a little stressed. I'm going to need to maybe make sure they're getting enough water. And then these two I ended up digging up out of the landscape because they seeded themselves from last year. I used to have zinnias in here. You can even see some seeding themselves, but they were just really struggling. They just didn't get enough water throughout the day because they would get hit with water in the morning and then dry out way too quickly. But the Vinca here does incredible with a little bit of a drought, let's say. It just always looks like this, pretty much. So the most heat stressed or whatever stress is that one in the back, but that's not even bad. And then these pots up here, I did have Vinca in originally, but I had my little Christmas trees in them, and I actually will show you where they are. They're still sitting in the same spot. So we had this storm, and one of the pots knocked over and cracked on the ground, like shattered on the ground. So I just picked up the Vinca. I was like, I wanted something tropical in here, but I liked my little trees for, the other seasons. But now I'm just in love with it. It just feels so nice with this area. It feels very tropical, and I absolutely love these pots. I love that the Vinca is trailing. It doesn't have a ton of blooms just because this does get a little bit more shade. I do have like a shade up here, but it still gets plenty of the sun in the afternoon. It just doesn't have quite as many blooms as it would if it gets sun all day long. So I have the same pot over here and the same concept up here. I did the same thing with this pot. This seeded itself, and then this is one that I grew from seed. This one isn't my favorite because its growth habit. The leaves are a little smaller, the blooms are a little smaller, but it's still really pretty. My favorite of the ones I grew from seed is definitely this one, and you'll see it in the landscape. It just looks absolutely gorgeous. So Vinca has been the star of the show for sure. You see where the little trees are? So I had two of these pots for the last 4 years, 5 years, and one of them just fell and shattered. You can see they're struggling, but I'm going to plant them in the landscape and they'll probably bounce back. That one might not. This one absolutely will. I just haven't gotten to it because we've been so hot. And then if we haven't been hot, we've been really wet. So this is my second year with the vegetable garden, and this year hasn't been as good because I was so focused on the wedding. I didn't do as much with the garden. It still looks really beautiful. I love that I have the zinnias and everything around the edges. I love a beautiful vegetable garden with it kind of packed in and everything. Right now the peppers are going absolutely insane. So the peppers are doing really good. Let me zoom in for you. Look at all these jalapenos. They're really nice and big. I feel like I'm going to need to pick a bunch and make like jalapeno poppers or something. because they're just really nice and big. I'm starting to finally get a red sweet pepper. I've been waiting for it to turn red. I have a couple turning. So this one's doing really good. And I have so many banana peppers. So I'm going to pickle banana peppers as well. Look at this one branch. I need to pick some so it doesn't fall or like break off. But my tomatoes sadly have not done well. I need to tie some of these up. They're starting to get going now, but we were so hot. You guys, when I say we were so hot, we had a record amount of days in the 90s. I think it was 42 days in the 90s between June and July, and most of those days were really hot, like 95 with feels like in like the 100 105s, like 110, super super hot. So the tomatoes really struggled, and they're just, I also had some get diseases that I had to take out. They had a leaf curl disease, that virus that you can't come back from, so I had to take out my San Marzanos and maybe a beefsteak, I think. And so I just don't have as many as last year. Luckily I had volunteers, and that's what is growing right now, and it's starting to go crazy. We've also now had a ton of rain, so I'm getting signs of early blight. So today I'm going to take off all those leaves. So it's been a very difficult tomato year. Peppers, though, on the other hand, are doing incredible. So you win some, you lose some. I still think I'll get some really good tomatoes here in the next several weeks because I'll have tomatoes until November usually. So we'll see. Also, let me show you this kale because, and my cucumber plants that just don't want to die, and I'm very thankful. So I planted these cucumber plants in May, I believe, maybe early May or maybe April. And then they were actually looking good in May. I think that's what it was. And they keep getting mites, you guys. I don't know if there's going to be one on here. I need to spray these today. They keep getting mites and then they keep surviving. So, as you can see, we've got new growth, and this is a pickling cucumber. I have pickling and I have munchers in here, and so I want to make sure that the um, pickling ones stay because I have one growing or a couple growing down here, but they're just not, coming up to speed yet. So hopefully we can keep these going so I can have a few more jars of pickles before I completely pull these out. And then this kale I put in the fall, and it's actually doing incredible in the heat. Like it hasn't bolted at all. As you can see, it's so, so tall, but it just keeps producing and it doesn't bolt. And I will say this one is one, it's really tough. So you definitely need to cook it, but it is delicious still. And yeah, it looks really good. So love that. My basil always tastes better here. And I think it's because it's too hot maybe. And see, you can see signs of mites on here. See how that's just like that. I need to spray everything today. We've got rosemary, oregano, zinnias, Swiss chard, struggling. Um, let's see, I need to cut a path through here. Okay, so this is lemon balm, and I love using that for fillers. See how so yeah, I need to tie these up, cut off some stuff, and hopefully we can get some more tomatoes. Peppers over here are also starting to pick up. We have another tomato plant here. Need to go over. We have some zucchini and some beans. These look like they need some fertilizer. I'm gonna hit everything with some fertilizer soon and make sure everything's healthy. Tomatillos have been okay. I've gotten a little bit, but as you can see, there's a ton on the plant. They don't develop like big until they fall off the plant, and I think it's because of these stupid leaf foot bugs. They just won't leave them alone. So that's a bummer, but oh well. It is what it is, right? Okay, so let's go to this garden bed. I also need to pull out that dill plant. Oh my goodness, we have a giant, giant, giant spider. These are not harmful, but do you see that? It hasn't been in that spot before. This is my raspberry plant, and it's definitely loaded with some raspberries coming up. But yeah, now I can't walk that way. So it's not gonna harm me, but it's also scary because it's a few inches long at least. So we have a raspberry plant here. We have zinnias and stuff. Everything needs to be kind of groomed up. We've got a weed in here, a big one. And then these pots, I used to have strawberries in here, but they just never really produced for me. So I ended up putting some coleus, marigolds, and then these are calendula, I believe. So we'll see if they bloom by the end of the year or not. And my shrub, and then this is my area, a little graveyard area, let's say. And we have an elephant ear growing over here that I just never planted. So that's kind of fun. And then over here, I did the same thing. I had my garlic in here and planted the same thing, marigolds and stuff. This one's doing a lot better though, as you can see. And we also have a coneflower that I grew from seed. And yeah, this is bee balm under there. And yeah, everything just needs to be cut back a little bit. All right, let's go on to the main show. If you were here last year, you will notice we now have grass instead of just weeds. Yes, there are weeds sprinkled in, but the majority is grass. This year I really tried to get the grass growing, and from this angle, let me show you what it looked like at the beginning of the season in the spring, because it is night and day difference for how much the grass has grown in. I basically had to go and kill all the weeds, which was 90% of the yard, and the Bermuda grass has filled in beautifully. Obviously, this area still needs time to grow in, but I have hope by the end of the season it will be pretty much filled in. I also have some weeds over here that I need to address. And there's a few around here. Crabgrass has been my enemy, but as you can see, it's filling in. So it's looking good. Okay, let's start with this little garden bed over here. So this garden bed has been so fun having all of these cannas right by this window. This is for our kitchen, and the hummingbirds love cannas, and so we've seen multiple hummingbirds coming up to the cannas, and it's just really fun. So I have cannas, a grass. I do have a limelight in there, but it's tiny, or it's like a little one somewhere. I don't remember exactly what the name is. We have vinca again. This is just kind of a smorgasbord. A ton of weeds. These are my nemesis. And this is a hibiscus I grew from seed that has really struggled with something eating it, but as you can see, it has a ton of buds on it. And they're beautiful pink. I'll show you a picture if I remember to put it on the screen. So pretty. And this is also a weed. So yeah, that gets a few feet tall and wide, and it's a perennial, so that's fun. Doesn't get as big as this hibiscus though. So unfortunately, this area is in the sun, just for the fact of you can't see as well. But let's start on this left hand side or right hand side. So over here we have a grass that I ended up cutting all the way back because it flopped really bad in a storm. And then I have another little grass, and then this hibiscus has just been incredible, you guys. It has bloomed nonstop since it started blooming at the end of June, I would say. It's just so pretty. And then over here, we have an area that used to have gladiolas, and now it's just zinnias and another spider. So those are everywhere in the garden. Hopefully they're eating all the bad bugs. And we have more vinca, more of that vinca. More zinnias that I kind of need to stake. They're kind of falling down on everything. I also have one of these celosia that I loved last year popping up through. I might move that. And then peeking in, we have a little shrub over there. There's a pink dahlia that hopefully will just bloom its head off here soon. Some gomphrena. We have my favorite zinnias ever. They just bloom, bloom, bloom without you having to deadhead them. Although I am going to cut them back so they're not over the edge, and they're flopping with all the rain we've had lately. So going to cut those back. We have some marigolds coming, some sunflowers, and then more of this celosia that self-seeded itself and is doing really good. We have more zinnias coming here soon. We have strawflower, which has been so fun and incredible this year. Like, It's just blooming like crazy. Where last year mine fizzled out because I think I started it too early or something. I don't really know. Then we also have Lysianthus, which I've cut on a bunch. It just takes a while to like regenerate blooms, but I've been absolutely loving it. They last forever in a vase. So, and then we have this is the view here. Oh, it's so pretty. We have Gumfrina, which is just loving its life in the heat. It always is just the best performer in the heat. Looks amazing in a vase, dried, all the things. We have a dahlia behind it, a little shrub behind it. And, oh, there is some veronica back there that ended up not getting as tall as I thought. Then we have some salvia around the border, vinca, more zinnias that I'm going to cut back so they'll reflush. And back here, the rose is starting to bloom again. And then back here, we have dahlias starting to bud up again because it is slightly cooler than it was. They're doing a lot better than in the heat. And then we have celosia, vinca. Yeah, that area, this area is going to explode here soon with a bunch of dahlias, which I'm so excited for. Oh, this one is budding up to this white one. I haven't gotten a bloom from that yet this year. So these zinnias, I'm definitely collecting seed from because they are so good, you guys. So good. My favorite of the two is probably the salmony one. It's so pretty. But as you can see, that's where they're planted and they're just flopped over. So I need to just shear them back. And then, oh my gosh, we have a coneflower getting ready to bloom that I grew from seed, you guys. That is so exciting. Some of them are first year bloomers. So we're going to get some blooms and I can't wait. Look how much this grass has filled in. So we actually have two types of grass over here. So our neighbors have a different type of grass than us. This is Bermuda and I don't know what the other one is. So it looks a little funky, but at least it's super filled in. Caleb edged everything last time he mowed and it's just beautiful. So this is my favorite view of the entire garden. It is just so filled in. The layers are beautiful. It is my favorite. So there are a few things that need to be addressed. This has been flopped over for a month now, maybe more, after a bunch of rain. This, I don't remember what it is. It's like a berry something, panicle hydrangea, and it just doesn't hold its weight, which is really unfortunate. It's not like a limelight, I guess, that holds its weight pretty good. Down here, we have a mum trying to bloom. I should probably shear that back so it blooms a little closer to fall. Then we have some New Guinean patience. I used to have 3, but one just fizzled up, I think, in the heat with the maple so close. I'm going to show you how big the maple is. It's literally mind-blowing to me. And then we have, this is an ornamental kind of basil that's really beautiful. But yeah, this hydrangea is really hiding some stuff. We got a grass trying to grow. We got some yarrow. There's daylilies under there. So gonna need to address that. And then we have this border, which is my favorite. We have lemon coral sedum over here. We have all of this beautiful zinnias and vinca that I grew from seed. We have this salvia, I believe it is, that I also grew from seed that I'm definitely going to grow again. So beautiful. I just love it. The snapdragons are starting to bloom again because the heat is dying down. So I'm really excited for those to like really go for it. More of this basil behind there. We have salvia starting to flush again because it's not as hot. We have these just beautiful irises. I know the lighting kind of sucks right now. These beautiful irises. Behind it, we do have a mum. I didn't know the irises were going to get so tall. And over here, we have more dahlias. They're shorter variety, some snapdragons. And then this is a limelight that also is falling over. So I think it's just because it's young and not rooted in as much. So I need to just stand it up. But the stems are super strong. It's just the whole root ball is kind of pulling up. We have a grass back there. things are looking really good. And then back there we have a knockout rose that's going for it. We have a little tiny bit of phlox, that's that pink that you see. And then back here we have some mums. Oh my God, there's a cat in here. That is not my cat. Are you serious? We have a cat living in here. Do you see it? Oh my God. What the heck? There's a cat in here just sunning itself. Oh, dear God. I don't know what to do. Okay, I guess we'll ignore the cat for now. And I have to get it out of the yard before I let Luna out. Because that's a feral cat. Um, then the sedum is just about to completely be in full bloom here very soon. We've got the grasses in the back, which are starting to bulk up, and it's just looking beautiful. Okay, let me step back so you can see how big the trees are. Okay, look at how giant these are, you guys. If you remember last year, I might put a view for you guys of what everything looked like, and the difference is night and day how big all of the trees are. They've gotten so big. It is mind-boggling, to be honest. Then back here, we have these now giant hydrangeas and hostas. These hostas have filled in incredibly. I did divide these ones, so hopefully these get really bulky next year. And then these hydrangeas, let's hope we can get some blooms next year, because this year they did not bloom for me. They got hit by a frost, and the one close to the house in the front yard bloomed, but these did not. And these are macrophylla hydrangeas, so basically if they get hit with a really heavy frost, then they won't bloom for you because they bloom on old wood. Oh my gosh, I just noticed too, I had foxgloves over here, and I think those are all baby foxgloves like popping up. That would be incredible if that's true. Okay, so then we have this area, which is my little shade garden, which is doing, honestly, these are bulking up way more because we've gotten so much rain. We do have some weeds throughout here, but these just have kind of sat at their size because they just haven't gotten enough water, I think, throughout the whole season. But overall, it looks good. The hostas look pretty good. They're just not as big because, again, it doesn't get as much water, but it does its purpose. It looks nice. Here is my whole backyard garden. I'll show you from other angles, but I just love that pop of lemon coral sedum. Like, in that area is just beautiful. So beautiful. Let me show you my side yard because I put in a new little garden bed as an experiment this year. Over here gets really wet and gets waterlogged. So I ended up putting in a garden bed over here to hopefully address the whole water issue, and I think it's working somewhat. We have over here a bunch of zinnias. This Dusty Miller's not super happy. This is milkweed, swamp milkweed, so hopefully we can get some monarchs coming to it. It needs to bloom more. It bloomed once, but over here we have the same issue with these hibiscus that I grew from seed, just getting demolished, but it's coming back a little bit. Same with over here. This elephant ear is also struggling, I think, just with the heat before. And this grass is filling in. We still have a bunch of crabgrass and stuff that I need to address, but it's definitely filling in because this was dirt. But yeah, so it's definitely working having all of these plants here. This is not irrigated. They look a little rough just from all the rain we've had. And again, I'm going to shear these back because they're way over the edge. But yeah, these are doing decent. So I don't like to show my whole front yard garden other than like close up just for privacy. But I just need to show you, I extended this garden bed and divided like 3 clumps of lamb's ear, okay, in the early spring, like probably 3 clumps this size, made really small divisions. And let me show you how much I got. So I have lamb's ear and then I have vinca, every other pretty much, all along the border. And it is magnificent. So look at this, how much these grew. These were all, sorry, I'm so in the shot. These were all little tiny divisions. Every single one of them. I'll show you a picture from what it looked like earlier in the season. And now they are just glorious. And look at that vinca carpet. And then I thought I was buying the same vinca. One grows upright, one grows like a carpet. So that's unfortunate. But still really pretty. Love the hostas over here. All right, so I wanted to show you guys the side yard. This is hours after I actually filmed the original part of the tour, but I was going to show you this area just to show you how many weeds you can get if you just let things go. This area is a new garden bed that I did this year, and it was pretty bad, but I wanted to weed it today anyway, so I wanted to show you. I'll show you like a before and after of this area. This area really, really, really needs to be weeded, so don't judge, but I just wanted to show you that this is a first year garden, so like it really is needing to be weeded constantly because of that. It just is what it is. It has so much grass in it. But we have elephant ears, we have cannas, grasses, sedum, we have zinnias, and then over here the roses definitely need a fertilizer. We have a bunch of gumfrina, we have so many zinnias, and then a giant elephant ear that is blocking our AC unit behind it. There's like a lot of these, I think they're little mimosa trees, and then there's a bunch of grass and crabgrass, of course. So this area I love with the maple and the hostas. There's elephant ears. The whole purpose of this is to hide those boxes over there, and then the AC unit, which you can probably hear running because it is hot. I need to go inside, take a break, have some lunch. It's taken me a long time to get this weeded, but it looks incredible now. This whole border had weeds all over it, and it just looks so good. So I actually have the drip running right now. I was feeling a little dry over here. We've gotten a ton of rain lately, so I haven't really run the drip, but doing it today. So yeah, look at the sedum's about to pop. The zinnias are looking really good. We've got more of that over here. Yarrow, the gumfrina is looking great. This whole area was filled with weeds. I just fertilized this whole area of roses because it needs it for sure. I cut back a bunch of the elephant ear that was hanging over the edge and then blocking that tree. You couldn't even see it. So I know it wasn't getting enough light. And then more zinnias and a mum that I should probably cut back as well, but I'll do that another day so that it blooms really nicely here this fall. It's the most beautiful, like purpley pink blooms. That's from Costco. So yeah, this is a beautiful garden bed that I did this year. All right, you guys, that is it. Thank you for watching my garden tour. So fun to show you guys around. And now I'm going to go prune and get some stuff done in the garden. Thank you guys so much for watching. And soon I will share what I do for pests like those mites that I was talking about, as well as fertilizing. That'll be the next video that I'm going to make for you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.